Alabama football's 2025 wide receiving group might rival one of the best to ever do it. Stick around. Let's talk about it. This is Way Offsides. 3, 2, let's go. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the case may be. I don't know when you're watching this, so we say all three. I did not mean for that to rhyme, but it did. I love when a plan comes together. Welcome to Way Offsides, your favorite sports talk on YouTube, specifically Alabama. Alabama. Why are we talking so much about Alabama? Well, because the expectations are through the roof for the 2025 season. Recruiting windows are starting to close a little bit, so we're going to shift some focus over to the season. And there's one specific position group that I want to talk about today regarding the 2025 edition of the Alabama Crimson Tide and why I think they may rival one of the best to ever do it. Stick around. I'm going to tell you all the things. But before, let's pay some bills. Please, if you have not done so yet, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment. Cotton, you're doing a great job. Cotton, you stink. Cotton, let me borrow some money. I don't care what you say. Just say something. It helps the algorithm. You guys know how this works. So I'm not going to beg you anymore. Please, sir, can I have some more subs? Anyway, Alabama football is getting ready to gear up. We're less than 50 days out, folks, before the Tide take on the Seminoles down there in Tallahassee for that 2:30 kickoff in week 1, Labor Day weekend. It should be a hot one, but a fun one. Now, Alabama has this version of Alabama, year 2 for Kalen DeBoer, has drawn a lot of comparisons to the 2020 group. And I've been pretty vocal that I don't necessarily know that that's smart or fair to do because Alabama fans, myself included, we all often have an expectation problem. We expect Alabama to be perfect. Don't blame us. Blame Nick Saban. He is the one that instilled that into us. But so I'm like, hey, let's be careful with the 2020 comparisons because that was one of the best offenses in college football of all time. And, you know, I've talked to guys like Clint Lamb about this. He was in agreement, you know, because you look at the weapons that a guy like Mac Jones had, and it was easy for him to be successful. And that's where a lot of the conversation in comparison has surrounded. It's been focused at the quarterback position. Obviously, I think we all know the quarterback, at least day one starter, is going to be Ty Simpson, drawing a lot of Mac Jones comparisons because of the situation and what the offense looks like. As well, you bring in Ryan Grubb. It's hard not to get excited. Well, I've been very adamant about pumping the brakes. Hold on. You know, Mac Jones had Jalen Waddle. He had John Mechie, obviously Heisman Trophy winner Devontae Smith. So like, hey, hold up. Let's be a little easy here. But since I've had those conversations with people, I've done a little research and just kind of been looking into some things. And that wideout group had 2 first-round wide receivers on it? The RYDEOUTS. Well, we'll call, I think the RYDEOUTS were before 2020, but we'll just, in reference, if I'm saying the RYDEOUTS, I'm talking about the 2020 squad. Obviously, before that, you had a year that had Jerry Jeudy, John Mechie, Mechie was there. You had Henry Ruggs. You had Devontae Smith. Absolutely insane. But here's the thing. When I slow down and look at it, there's potentially 3 future first-rounders in Alabama's wide receiving room right now. 3 that we know of. That's crazy. That can't be true. Well, it is. Obviously, let's go ahead and get the most obvious one off the board, Ryan Williams. Ryan Williams will likely be the second wide receiver taken in his class just because Jeremiah Smith has a bigger build, a more NFL style prototypical build. So Smith will likely go above him in the draft, but next year's draft. But Ryan Williams will be a first round draftee. So who's left? I don't know. Cotton, who's left? Well, let's look at Jeremy Bernard. He is the most obvious candidate. This is be his last season in Tuscaloosa. I think that he is already showing in projected draft boards as a first round talent. I think the last I saw him was going around 14th or 15th. That's good enough for a first round right there. I think that Bernard, if you've watched the channel, you paid attention, we've got some videos discussing the potential for him to have a very, very big year in 2025. I don't know if you've seen the photos now. Dude put on some Bernard has put on some mass. If he has not slowed down, he is going to be a problem for opposing secondaries in 2025. Well, so there's two. There's two guys right there. So we move on, and we're discussing who else could potentially be a first round guy coming off of this team. Well, the most obvious answer is Isaiah Horton, the transfer out of Miami. Horton as well. He looks the part. He looks like an NFL guy. If he goes out and makes some noise this season, he too will easily slide into that first round. So in saying that, it's kind of crazy because you've got three guys on this squad who could potentially go in the first round of the NFL draft when they're drafted. Ryan Williams will be not this coming up draft, but the following. But then you look at that 2020 squad, and they had two first rounders on that squad. Now, mind you, one of them was one of the best wide receivers to ever play college football, in Devontae Smith, but Ryan Williams is no scrub, right? Now, what needs to happen for the new RYDEOUTS to be characteristically dubbed thus? Well, first of all, Ryan Grubb needs to earn his paycheck, and I think everybody's confident in his ability to do that. He's been successful with Kalen DeBoer wherever he's gone. He did it with much less talent up at Washington at the wide receiving position. Of course, they did have Michael Penix Jr., but I think Ty Simpson will be able to get the job done. And Grubb, unlike Sheridan, Sheridan did a great job, don't get me wrong, but Sheridan, I think, stepped into the moment a little bit too prematurely. Grubb will be able to scheme to Ty's strengths. And if Ty has the relationship we think he has with these guys, it could be absolutely nutty, just nutty. Then we look at the type of offense that Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb run, and it's just suited for wide receivers. It's a mecca for wide receivers. Excuse me, I'm stuttering over here. It's a mecca for wide receivers. They've had multiple 1,000-yard wide receivers at Washington, and I think that the potential to see that at Alabama this season is there, and that's why people are so excited. Jalen Milroe served his purpose as Alabama's quarterback last year, but he wasn't consistent, and the consistency issues caused problems in the passing game. Now, it wasn't always on Jalen Milroe. Receivers were running the wrong routes. They weren't where they were supposed to be. There was a lot of communication issues there, but it looks like the team, from what we're seeing before they go on the field, mind you, there's that I always use this word, but there's that galvanization there, and that's going to do wonders for that quarterback to wide receiver connection, emotionally, on a personal level, and through the air. And so I expect to see Alabama take a huge leap offensively, passing the ball, because they've got the talent to do it right up front. You've got three guys who can be very lethal weapons. And then you're bringing in Ryan Grubb, and you've got a quarterback who can potentially run Kalen DeBoer's system even better. Now, going through the rest of the wide receiving room, those aren't the only guys that you need to be talking about. Obviously, Jeremy Bernard, Isaiah Horton, Ryan Williams are going to be the focal, but you've got some freshmen that are coming in, like Aaron Hampton, who are just could potentially see the field a little bit. Obviously, a fan favorite, Cole Adams, who got injured last year, will be back. Let's see who else. There's a ton. I'm actually just looking at the roster because there's so many. Rico Scott is a name that we're hearing a lot about this offseason. And then, of course, Lotzier Brooks. Lotzier Brooks is the phenom, the underrated gem of the 2025 class that everyone is really excited to see take the field. You bring in some other guys, big bodies like Derek Meadows. But the one that nobody's really talking about for whatever reason, I don't know, but I'm really excited about is Jalen Hill. We all know that Jalen was injured leading up to the 2024 season. The expectations for him were very, very high. Well, I don't think that changes. We'll see what he looks like coming off of that injury. It was a pretty brutal one. And so we'll see what he looks like coming off that injury. But just based off of what I've seen from the kid pre-injury, if he can get back up to even close to where he was, he is going to be a savage addition to this offense. Now, we're talking about wide receivers. Now, what else is Alabama going to do offensively? Well, they're going to throw the ball to their tight ends. They'll primarily use these tight ends for blocking, but Bama did a really good job with the transfer portal and bringing in some guys like Brody Dalton. You've got Jay Lindsey there. You've got the redshirt junior Danny Lewis Jr. Who else, man? Who was the other guy? Jackson Marco they brought in. And then obviously they went and got Caleb Edwards last year in the recruiting class. And then obviously Josh Cuevas, who is, I don't know if you've seen these kids, man, but they are putting on like 20, 30 pounds so far in muscle. There's some that even put on 40 pounds. So if the offensive line does its job and gives Ty Simpson time to really do what he needs to do, this offense could be nasty, and we could be seeing the emergence of RYDEOUTS 2.0. Tell me what you think in the comments below as well. Please leave a like and a subscribe. Thank you for hanging around. We got so much more content coming. You don't want to miss a thing. There's a lot to keep up with, but that's what we're here to do. We're here to help you so that you can get it all in one place. Absolutely love each and every one of you. God bless you. Say your prayers. Read your Bibles. Rest in peace, Tom MacArthur. Man, that one hit me right in the chest yesterday. But always, horns down, beat Auburn and LSU and Tennessee too. Roll Tide.